Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Honey, Let's Heal. I am Mandy, a co-host, Natasha, my co-host. Kara is our producer, and she will also be co-hosting from time to time.
Yay!
I thought maybe we could introduce ourselves a little bit. We didn't really do that much yesterday. So my name is Mandy, and I am a psychic medium. I have those abilities because of the way my nervous system was raised, essentially. Um, so I have had to heal a lot from a chaotic childhood, and I've always had the supportive spirit. And then once I started learning how spirit communicates, that's when the healing really accelerated for me. Um, okay, Tosh,
Yeah,
tell us
I
about
am
you.
Natasha. I am the owner of Vibrant Life, which is a business in which I do energy work, body work, and I'm a licensed addictions therapist.
I guess that leaves me. My name is Kara, and I guess I'm a student of life at this point.
Mm.
Um, I worked for a long time and I've had the opportunity to stay home now and really focus on, what's this journey all about because I don't know. So thank you very much. I am very happy to be included in this ordeal, and I hope that everybody that comes along for the ride has fun.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And we just sprung this on Kara. She didn't know.
Yes.
She
Yes.
she knew that we were starting a podcast, and Natasha and I had a meeting yesterday, and we really talked about all of the things. And I was like, I think we need to bring Kara on. And she was like, yep. And I was like, great. And we just decided, hey, can you talk to us today?
Like
So
two
this is
minutes
all
ago.
happening. Yes, this is all happening by the
Yes.
seat of our pants. But that's
Which is
good
the whole
because
idea behind the podcast anyways, is just to operate
absolutely.
from that place of authenticity
Mhm.
and nothing scripted, nothing prepared. It's just all authentic. So we're happy
From the
that
heart,
Kara, yes,
from
was
the
willing
soul.
to be
Thank you.
a good friend.
If things
Yes.
get crazy here, it's because all of my animals have surrounded me. So,
Oh, well, they're protecting you, I
yes.
suppose. They're grounding you.
They're like,
Cute.
Mom's energy is weird. What's going on?
Yes, for real. Thanks, animals. We need you.
Yes.
Cute. So, let's talk about yesterday's episode. Any thoughts, feelings, reactions, Tosh?
I think just doing it in anyways was good, like to operate outside of that fear because it is new to us and it's something that we're shifting into, and every time we practice something that induces a little bit of fear, we obviously gain confidence in doing that. So
Mm,
then like the fear of it gets a little bit smaller and more manageable.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I heard someone say the other day that action kills anxiety. And
Mm.
I mean, I haven't had a ton of anxiety about this, but as it was uploading last night, that was a wild ride for my body. Um, and then today before we came on, I just started feeling like really fluish. And so I like
Mm.
laid down in a meditation and I was like, okay, parts, like I hear you, I feel you, body, like who's freaking out? Come sit on
Mm.
my heart, like come over here, let's talk about it, like it's gonna be okay. Like I'm the adult in the room now, it's gonna be
Yes.
okay. Oh, we we had something pop up that I couldn't stop thinking about last night, and it was do you remember when we were talking about confidence and like audacity
Mm.
and masculinity, and how you were like, we need these men to like have a little bit of arrogance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't let anyone stop them from doing what they know they need to do. And I was like, I know the energy she's talking about, and I don't know if I would call that arrogance. I think I would call that audacity, right?
Mm.
Because I don't like the energy of arrogance. it's like it's air, right? Like it's imbalanced energy.
Mm-hmm.
But audacity is grounded. Audacity is like, no, no, no. Like, I know my values. I have
Mhm.
a strong personal constitution. I'm going to do this regardless of what everyone else thinks, especially if
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is telling me not to do it. I have to do it because I know internally and I have the internal resources or like a strong foundation and a connection to God that I know that this is something that has to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Does that track?
Well, when I hear audacity, I think of the phrase, I can't believe they had the audacity to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Mm,
negative thing, right? Like, why would they do
yes.
that? What makes them think that they can get away with that? So I think
Yeah.
either phrase, there's going to be a little tinge of, the pro or the con of it, where call a
Yes.
spade, and let's instead of using arrogance or audacity, let's just say they need definitely a little bit of an ego, because I think we've talked about ego too, and
Yep.
we both have kind of decided that ego is not what it, there's more of the
The
good to
mainstream
that.
has fed us. Yes.
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 Yep.
Yeah. The
Because they
ego
need a
is
little bit of.
deeply misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think we're all trying to figure that out. Um, but I also see that like, the ego gets like set and it's like, oh, I'm doing this, whether you
Mm-hmm.
say I can do it or not. For me personally, I experience that energy as my inner child, where my inner child is
Mm,
like, I know what's right and I know what feels right to me. And so this is what has to happen, regardless of what the outside world is telling
yeah.
me.
Well, in that freedom piece too, because to me, when I hear inner child, I think of like, we don't have a care in the world, where that person might not like it, but I am
Yes.
going to do what's best for me, despite and in spite of whatever is going on over here.
Yes. 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 And I get pulled to like, the reason I like being in inner child energy so much is because there's a purity there, like a pureness of heart, like a naivete, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like, you haven't been like, uh,
corrupted,
yes, like, because like when you
programmed.
say naive, people think you are like ignorant or you just don't get
Right.
it.
Right.
Where when does that come in? Where it's just we haven't been, like I said, corrupted yet, or haven't been manipulated or taken advantage of
Yep.
in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any other things that popped out to you from yesterday, or should we pull a new topic?
Yeah, I'm good on that. And Kara, did you have any since you watched it, or any thoughts? I feel like
Yeah.
you had a couple little bubbles.
Yeah, one thing, I read The Four Winds, and I think it was from that book, and they talk about fear and courage at the same time.
Mm,
Um, and you can still have fear, but courage is having that fear and still doing what you need to do. And I think it's a hard balance for some people when you do
Yeah.
things for yourself and you're authentic to yourself. Some people can take that personally, and it's not
hmm.
personal. It's having the courage to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or separating selfishness. I just had a session with someone literally, and that's what we were talking about, was taking care of yourself is not selfish. And that's hard for people to kind of wrap their heads around. I think kind of circles back to what you were saying, Kara, too, of like the courage to do what you know you should. You aren't being selfish by taking care of yourself first.
Right.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
Do
got
it
the
to it,
jar.
girlfriend.
She's got the jar, people.
Pulling a rabbit out of the hat.
And it's not even Easter.
Someday we'll get animators and they'll be able to dub that over top.
Okay. What do we got here?
Ooh, is that another big one? Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
Lodge,
God.
lodge and
Can
in
you show
charge.
it? Yes. Like, okay, what is it? Yeah, show it good.
Well, nobody can read
Protection,
my
provision.
chicken
Oh,
scratches.
I love this. I love this. Protection
From
and
men
provision from
versus
men
women.
versus women. Yes. So, like, what does protection look like when it comes from women? What does provision look like when it comes from women? And then what does it look like when it comes from men? I think let's start with women since we are that.
Yes. Well,
Like,
what's protection and provision? What is that? Like, let's even
mm,
like baseline definition those.
having your needs met, right? Like
Okay.
basic human needs. Um, so the provision, right, would be like the meeting of needs. Protection would be insulation from unnecessary
Mm,
harm, I guess is how I would.
yeah.
Does anyone else have any?
Safety and security.
Mm.
Okay, so protection and provision from women. What does that feel like for us?
Um, it's a bit like sisterhood, right? Or like
Mhm.
motherhood. You have your little tribe to take care of, right? So your needs
Mm-hmm.
are now extended into a bigger pool, and you have these other beings that rely on you for meeting all their needs.
Mm-hmm. So, what about receiving then? Not just being on the giving end, but when we receive protection from a woman, what does that feel like?
For me, it's like, does she have my back when I'm not in the room? Like, does
Mm,
she say one thing to my face and something behind my back, or does she say the same thing to my face and the same thing behind my back?
yep, agreed. Yep, I like that. I think the protection piece from women too is um, I always find it interesting the videos that you see when they'll do like social experiments.
Mm,
And is it this is like the universal signal for like that you're being abducted or need help?
you need
And
help? Yep.
I've seen videos where well they'll show like women will like try to like, bump into a man and then do that and they'll just kind of look but keep going and the woman will just like stop, turn around, go grab that girl or like pretend that they knew that person, pretending that that's your girlfriend
Right.
and you're just going to go help them out.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's I don't know if I don't necessarily think that's a man not wanting to provide protection, but maybe just not understanding what that means. But that, like that signal, but that was
Yep.
an example to me that I've come across as, you know, women really having that empathy and understanding of what it is like to be a woman. So
Oh, yeah.
when someone else is in a vulnerable role, what can I do to help that person or to be of assistance in some way? Because we have empathy or, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, similar experiences, the ties that bind, right? That allow us to operate from that place
Mm-hmm.
of I know what that feels like and I didn't like
Yep.
that, so I'm going to jump in and do what I can for that other female because we also don't want to see someone that is being hurt, manipulated, taken advantage of. So I think of that as like that protection piece from women too is like ours is that operation from empathy and
Oh,
understanding.
yeah.
Again, fortunately, unfortunately, when we
Mhm.
look at abuse, neglect, domestic violence, and things like that.
I don't think men understand how much fear women process in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't think they understand um how easily it is uh for a woman to feel powerless, right? Um,
I mean, society has programmed us from the time we were born that women do this, women do that, girls do this, boys do that. Boys don't cry, girls, pick
mhm.
up and kind of carry the weight of the world. And it's a very interesting subject because I get real mama bearish. Like I just wanna
Yes.
I wanna grab everybody and I'm gonna protect you from everybody. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how I feel so strongly about the woman to woman bond, and it's
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
so
Same.
powerful.
Yes. There's a reason that feminine energy has been suppressed and
Hmm.
controlled for however many thousands of years has been happening.
Mm-hmm.
um when women come together in community, there is nothing better, there's nothing more beautiful. And um I'm a comedian, so I consume a lot of comedy, and I hear guy comics all the time talking about how toxic female friendships are. And I'm like, but that's your lens. Like, those are already
Mm,
your assumptions. So that's what you're seeing. That's not necessarily the reality. I mean, obviously, we're a very toxic culture. We have been pumped full of
yes.
toxins since birth, all of us, for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? Like, we have to be realistic about that. And we have to have grace for the opposite sex. And we all need to heal, right? Like, we all have our shit that we're carrying over, whether it's from this life or another one, from this
Mm-hmm.
relationship or the last one, like, right, like friendships, whatever. um
Well, and sometimes I wonder if men are also looking at like a high school girl
oh
friendship,
yeah.
because that's to me is completely different. And then obviously there are many people that aren't doing any healing work. So they
Right.
are throughout their lifetime going to continue to have this like high school type girl drama thing where when you
Yeah.
actually find other people, and I think there's a growing number of people like us, but it's still
Right.
very few. So the majority is they are looking at female relationships as being catty, or like so and so was talking to her girlfriend on this line and then she hung up and called her other homegirl, and then they were like, she just told me that, like they see that,
Literally.
so they
Yes.
do think and assume that relationships are like that, because unfortunately a lot of them are,
Right.
because like that's a lens that is unfortunately very still very common in our society as well, when you are looking
Yes.
at this amount of people that aren't doing a lot of inner work.
Right. Right.
And that goes back to being authentic. It's so hard for men or women to be authentic because, we're going to get judged, we're going to get
Mm,
ridiculed. And so
People are gonna
figuring
talk
that
shit.
balance out. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, I think that's I've noticed that as a huge driver for women, is like they don't want to do something wrong because they don't want people talking shit about them. And like, there's a difference between talking shit to talk shit, and and talking about a problem to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
And men are natural problem solvers, right? Like, when they're in their highest expression, when they're their healthiest, they're most grounded, they are naturally wired to fix problems.
Yep.
um I'm interested how you guys see that in women, because I know I'm always since birth have been observing life and analyzing it in a way to solve problems. Is that
Mm-hmm.
your dogs?
Yes, they're fighting,
Are they
That's so
girls?
funny.
playing.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry.
Mandy. What was yours?
No,
What was
you're
your first
fine. That's
question?
so funny. Well, so like a lot of times when women are talking about a problem, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to
Mm,
find a solution. But just like with anybody, a lot of times we want to figure it out ourselves, right? Because we are capable of doing that. Um, and I just feel like there's a huge difference between when women are talking about a problem to find a solution versus when women are talking about a problem just to talk about a problem,
mm-hmm.
just to have something to talk about. It's almost like a currency in a way, right? Like, we know that gossip is like a huge thing in our culture. It's like a form of currency. Like, oh, guess what I know? Oh, guess what I
Mm,
heard?
mm.
Like,
Oh, yeah. I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, it is. I'm in the know. I knew before you did.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's all ego, right?
Ah,
Like, I have something
yes.
you don't have. Let me share it with you.
Yep.
So that's like all ego driven behavior. But women, like, the magic of women is our way to connect and provide resources to each other, right? Like today, Natasha had a client and she needed some advice on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all these resources for her, right?
Yep.
And that gives me life to be able to help someone that I don't even know, that I'll probably never know, right? And like, oh, great, yes, I know this would be perfect.
Yep.
Um, and like Natasha, she's working on a project about some stuff, and I reached out to a friend and was like, "Hey, I know you do this, and I need your expertise. Can you help me here?" Right? And it was like immediate.
Yeah.
We had an information. We could take the next right step, right? So like when women take care of each other from a heart-centered, soul-centered, grounded, healthy way, it's called kin keeping.
Mm-hmm.
There's like educational terms for this stuff, right? Like I studied sociology in college and I was always so fascinated at the way that we work in groups because it's so different. People act so differently in groups than they act one-on-one sometimes. And that always used to blow my mind as a child. Like it confused the heck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any feedback? Like I feel like I've just been rambling.
I'm trying to think of what your initial question was again.
I don't know if I even had it. I think I was just trying to point out like the differences in energy and how women show up in a healthy way versus an unhealthy way, right? Like what's the protection and the provision, and then what's like hurting us, right? Because the opposite of protection can be someone
Mm-hmm.
trespassing against our boundaries or our being.
Well, I think you were talking about like communication to solve the problem
Yeah,
versus just to gossip or talk, like in trying to process that in a certain way. And I think when I think of men, it's like I said, they want to help to solve the problem and kind of move on to the next thing without
right,
actually doing the processing, the
right.
emotional piece. They just want to say, "Well, just do this next time, and then this
Yep.
won't happen," instead of allowing the time to for us to kind of chew on it, let it kind of settle. We might have to revisit it and go back and forth. Where I feel like with men, it's just kind of like the get over it part,
Mm.
move on,
Right.
because they are so much more. And maybe this isn't true, but as a society, we view them as like these less emotional beings,
Right.
and they don't need time to process that, but maybe they really do. But
Oh, for
society has
sure.
told them that they are supposed to just sweep it under the rug.
Right.
And so maybe that's why we're getting this more from men too, is because they're not even acting or operating from the space where they can provide that emotional support or processing, because they're not even doing it for themselves. So can we expect them to do it for us if they aren't allowed to do it for themselves without being called weak, passive, or whatever,
Yeah,
derogatory term
absolutely.
someone wants to say to a man when they try to exhibit any type of grief, sadness, or even anger in a healthy way.
Totally. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that like I mean, there is like a divine design to things, right? Like I think men, since they're on a 24-hour hormone cycle, I think they can process energy faster than women can process energy.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a 28-day hormone cycle. We work differently, and we all need to like really, really accept that and face that and own that. Um, because I I think there are plenty of men out there who do emotionally bypass because they have to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But when you meet the men that are emotionally processing, that are like fully in it, fully authentic, fully embodied, they are the ones that women feel the safest with. They are the ones
Mm-hmm.
that we want to hold space for us because we know that they have the capacity to do so.
We need their names.
Well, I think
Anybody?
I
Their
think you
list?
probably would you can you're a huge Andy Frisella fan. You watch him every
He's
day.
so
Would you
crude.
would you consider him emotionally intelligent?
Mm. He's hot. Has
Not
big
what I asked, but I
muscles.
love the feedback.
Um, I'm not sure. Like when I think of emotionally intelligent, I think of that piece of like softness
Yeah.
that can come too. And when I
The
see someone
femininity.
like him with that like super exterior persona,
Isn't that what makes it hottest though? When he's so alpha, he's so
for
masculine, and
sure.
then he can soften and he can be like, I understand. Of course you feel that way. And he just gets to be your rock, right?
Well,
Like,
next time we're alone together, I will see what I can do about that, about that part. Because the part that I see on the podcast, whoops, is not the soft part.
and that would make sense, right? He's interfacing with the world, so he has to be a warrior, right? Like,
For
let's
sure.
not mince words. We're in the middle of a spiritual war, and this has been going on
Yes.
for a very long time. And so, of course, we need to show up as warriors. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, that's what
Yeah.
we're putting out there because this
Yep.
shit's fucking crazy.
It's wild. Mm-hmm. So what about like protection from men then? What's that look like for
Yeah.
everybody?
Yeah.
Well, one of the first things that I think of is how do they show up in like a really stressful situation?
Totally.
Like,
Mm,
who comes out? Is it somebody under control, assessing what's happening? Is everybody safe? Or is it what the fuck just happened? And you get that knee-jerk reaction, and it's that's scary.
yeah.
Right. Right.
So like just to see where they come at when they're having a stressful situation like that's
Mm,
when you get the authentic. Can this person, this man, this
Absolutely.
woman, whoever, um,
right.
protect me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like when things are stressful, can we think
Yeah.
through it rationally and logically instead of just panicking
Yes.
and
Yeah.
being all over the board and like contributing to the problem instead of being a part of the solution?
Exactly. For me, it always comes back to the nervous system. Can they regulate their nervous system in this chaos?
Mm-hmm.
Which is so hard because you see everybody right now struggling with emotional regulation because of everything that's happening in the world, which we can't control, but we have to still go to work, pay the bills, do the things. And meanwhile, the world is crashing. And
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance that? So, yeah, finding somebody who has that balance, that emotional regulation, that is so protective to me. When somebody can,
Mm-hmm.
you know, bring their authentic self to the situation and you figure it out together
Yeah.
versus just throwing gas on the fire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mandy, you don't have audio. And I like how you brought up like the emotional protective piece, Kara, because I always shift to that like that physical piece. Like, where's your fucking bow and arrow? Where's your sword? Like, are you gonna fight? Are we gonna are we gonna get
Right.
into like can you physically like protect me? Um and I think that's the part that and to me that's probably like the more primal piece for me is like the
Mhm.
caveman part where um yes, having a good balance of both of those, right? Like that emotional intelligence plus, I mean, for me, the physical protection piece is like, okay, like you can fucking fight a bear.
Right.
If I
100%.
need, you can fight the
Yes.
bear for me if I need to, or
Can you
if
guys
you
hear
need
me?
to. Yes, now we can.
Okay, awesome.
Perfect.
Um, is there any ways that provision show up that aren't like physical materials?
Well, I guess the emotional piece of that for me, I feel safest when, the people around me um, are regulated themselves.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to like look at a situation clearly when the people around me, the noise is so loud. Excuse my cat. When the
Love
noise
it.
is so loud, you can't
Hey,
see.
Lucky.
Right.
Yes.
And so
I guess we have
I
another
that
guest star.
oh yes, he's very helpful.
Thanks,
He
Murray.
actually will lay on my chest and purr while I'm
Yeah.
sleeping, and it is one of the most wonderful things that that I can experience with him. It's like he literally fixes my frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I love it.
So excuse that little guy.
That's okay. We love a little interruption. At least we don't have frog farts popping in
Oh
here
my God.
yet.
Yes. They have leaving me alone today. I'm just like, stay wherever you are.
Oh, and like I love boy energy so much, right? Like I love masculine energy. Like
Mhm.
as a woman, I am not that. And I've noticed this observing like relationship coaches and stuff. Like men love women who have traits that they don't, right? And I feel that same way towards men. Like, oh wow, you are so completely different to me. This is exciting. Like I'm gonna learn. Um, I think of that as provision from a man. And when you think about masculine energy, they love telling you shit, right? Like we mansplaining is a thing for a reason. They love telling you stuff. And can you receive that, or are you going to shut them down
Mm,
and be like, don't mansplain to me? Or are you going to let his masculine energy shine and, let him blab to you about something that's important to him? Now, the flip side of that is you talking about something you don't know, and I know more than you. And why are you telling me
mm,
this? Right? Like we've all
yep.
had those experiences for years.
Yes.
Sometimes I think it's funny that there's so many male OBGYNs. I'm like,
Oh my God, yes.
uh,
What are you doing? Creep?
can you tell me about your personal experience of giving birth, sir? What were your contractions like? Did you have any? Did you have a C-section?
That's so funny. So, so funny. I feel like that's a way tangent though. How do we get back? How do we get back to the core?
I
How would
think
you
so.
guys,
Go ahead.
how would you guys say you show up? Like Natasha specifically, how do you show up for your kids as protection and provision?
I think as a mom, like protection wise, since I have boys, I've always said to people, like, God knew I couldn't raise a girl because I would just be too. I need Brantley in the forehead yesterday. Want to know
Oh,
how that
geez.
happened? Because we were
Yes.
wrestling around on the floor. Like we were wrestling each other. And then all three of us, me, Brantley, Briggs, just like tipped from standing onto the side. And then my knee is hitting Brantley in the forehead. And Chad's just
Oh.
doing dishes like, what are you guys doing? And Brantley needs an ice pack, and Briggs is upset because Brantley's hurt, and I'm just like,
Aw.
I fucking smacked him in the head with my body. Like but I think for me, it's probably. I wonder if part of it is like me having just boys was because I can show them what I was like the protection piece I was missing. Like this is what this is going to look like when you take care of your children and your wife. This is what
Yes.
you're going to need to
You're
do.
modeling, you're modeling a
Mm-hmm.
household for them
Yeah, because I
differently
couldn't have
than
had soft, sensitive children. And I don't
but
mean like
you do.
emotionally, right? Like emotionally, we can have those conversations about someone else's feelings, teasing, bullying. What did we talk about the other day? What were we just things just come up so easily in conversation that it's
Yeah.
not even awkward or uncomfortable. But I definitely feel like with raising boys, I need them to be able to stick up for themselves. I need them to be strong, not just emotionally, but physically, to know that they can defend themselves or other people when they need to.
Mm.
And to also be confident in doing that and not having that repercussion where there's so many parents that are like, oh, if you get into a fight at school, you're going to get in trouble. I We just had that 2 weeks ago. I called Kara 2 weeks. I was like, oh, Brantley's in his day one of two ISS. You know, here we
And
go.
what did I say? I said, I am so proud of him.
Which is the
Yeah.
same thing that he heard from me and his
Nope.
dad. And it's like, stick up for yourself, stick up for other people. Um, don't be a bystander and don't
Yes.
be afraid. And there's so many other people, parents are like, you need to be nice to everybody. No, not everybody. I'm
Yep.
I'm not
Agreed.
gonna have my
That's bad
child be,
boundaries.
yeah, I'm not gonna have my child be a victim of something. But I'm also not gonna have them be the bully.
Right.
So, or the bystander.
Yeah, we
So,
talked about that yesterday, the bystander effect.
mhm,
Yep.
yep,
It's a real bummer.
yeah. Well, and I know my husband, he's very good at modeling to the boys what like dual roles look like. Because I said, I'm the one wrestling around with them on the floor when my husband's doing the dishes.
Right.
So then Brant, like my kids know their mom isn't the only one that does dishes. Mom isn't
Exactly.
the only one that cooks. Like everybody takes out garbage, everybody cleans, and we help together and do things collaboratively.
Yep.
Um, and I think that's just the piece of like there's too many young boys that don't see that, and there's too
Right.
many young girls that don't see that either.
Right. Right.
So there's a huge disconnect, and I feel like if I want like there's that balance, right? Because I need my
Yes.
kids to be strong. They need to be defenders. They need to be confident and assured in what they're doing, but they also need to know that um, they within their household and with their partner and their kids, they do need to be thoughtful and mindful and soft. But
Yeah.
bringing all of those in, I think is really important. It doesn't just have to be you're an asshole to be an asshole.
Yes.
You can be an asshole when
Yes.
you need to be,
Right.
but you still have to take out the trash.
That's so good. Kara, how do you show up for your kiddos as protection and provision?
Yeah, it's so different because I remember being at the stage that Natasha's in,
Yeah,
when the boys are at the ages that they are now. And now, of course, my kids are 23, 20, and 15. So I'm dealing with a completely different set of crayons. And,
totally.
now we're dealing with some like big life choices. And so the only thing I
Mm.
can do is encourage them to face the fears, take the trip,
Mm-hmm.
do the things. Um, but be nice to people because it's not that fucking hard.
Yep.
Right. You're so right. So, so right. Yeah, what an exciting time for them. I mean, I feel like um your perspective has to change so much, right, as they grow, because you're seeing their experience through your own lens, right, of being that age.
Yes.
But then they're having their own experiences brand new. And a lot of times, right, our kids' stuff is going to trigger the fuck out of us.
Hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
going to make us face parts of ourselves that we have long forgotten about. It's going to make us we're going to make mistakes, we're going to fuck up. And then are we going to own that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another part of protection. Do we own our fuck ups? Do we
Mm-hmm.
apologize to our kids when we trespass against their energy? Working in a daycare, right, like I have to be so highly attuned to the kids, and if I like speak too loudly or if I get too feisty, right, like if we're playing and I get too feisty, I can see that on them immediately, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have to adjust, right, like that's me protecting them, is me taking it down a notch, um knowing what they're uh capable
What
of
their
doing.
nervous system can handle.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And then, like, also in that stage of life, everything is new to them, right? So it takes a lot
Mm-hmm.
of repetition. So patience, um, that's something I've really had to cultivate for myself. And I think that's been one of the single most healing things I've done is one, the radical acceptance of what I've experienced and what I've done to other people because of that. And then how do I heal from
Mm-hmm.
that? How do I reclaim and own my energy? How do I protect myself? How do I protect other people? How do I provide a regulated nervous system so that I'm a good person to be around?
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you guys want to share like how your men show up and provide and protect for you guys?
I'm trying to think of an example. My man is a man's man. And
I
and
love those
he's
fucking blue collar
Me
dudes.
he's
My
the
fucking
too.
favorite,
They're
right?
the
Like,
best.
give me
yeah,
4
and
million of those. No bankers.
yeah, 100%,
No fucking
100%.
bankers. No suits. I need a dirty man.
Oh.
I'll tell him that.
Physically and
But no matter what, if I have a problem, he's a text away, a call away, he shows up. He doesn't like if I get a flat tire, it's not like, well, normally I'd probably handle it all on my own because that's
right.
who I've been, for the past
Yep.
how long.
Right.
But I wasn't used to that. So for me to be able to accept that protection from him because I wasn't getting
Mm,
it and
Right.
I didn't feel protected. But now, like, I can trust him to show up and do all the things.
mhm.
Um, so I don't know if I answered the question.
Well, that's okay. How has that changed your nervous system? Right? Because from my perspective, the amount of change I've witnessed in the past 6 months is bananas. And you guys have been together for a long time. So, like, I can't even imagine all he's done to you, all that he's been able to pour into you just by being a solid man, like a provider protector man.
Mhm.
Yes, I mean, my nervous system from the time that I met him to now is completely and radically changed.
Mm-hmm.
My blood pressure was 200 over like 147 or something. It was
Holy
emergency room
shit.
level. And so that's how dysregulated I was. But
Mhm.
now my man is there for me. He's going through all of these changes, these awakenings together, and to have
Yeah.
that support from
Yep.
from your man, because we can have it from our girlfriends and in our group
Right.
of women, but when you have your man and you can lean on him and he's not going to make fun of you or be like, that's
Yeah.
Yep.
weird, I don't understand that. He's like, no, man, let's watch some more ancient aliens. Like, we are balls deep, brother.
Love it. Oh, that's so good.
And
Cute.
so, I really do have that protection and that
Mhm.
safety. I come home to a calm house. How huge is that? You
Yes.
know?
Yep.
That's the greatest sign of wealth in our world.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
How
Well,
regulated is everyone's nervous systems in the house.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
right. Right. And I can feel myself off a little bit today. And I went to see him and he's like, you seem irritated. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of am, but I'm going to work it out. Like,
Right.
we just know each other so well that, like, he didn't get upset about it. He just is like,
Mhm.
okay, well, you need your time, figure it out. Figure it out.
Yep.
Yes. And that's what I think is really great about men is their ability to be that like it's almost like they're the lighthouse and we're the light. And so if they
Mm,
can just
Mm,
stay steady, our light might dim for a
I
minute,
like that.
but eventually it's going to get bright again, and it will probably get brighter because whatever I'm going through is helping me refine a part of myself that needs reclamation.
Well, when you said the lighthouse piece before, you talked about like our light getting dim and then coming back around, I just thought like when it's steady, we can fucking move,
Oh my
right?
god,
Like we
yes.
can
oh
be fluid
yeah.
and move because if there's a solid foundation, it's okay if our light dims because it's not really dim, it's just shifting.
Yeah.
It's just, but we know that we're in a steady enough position that we can stay there and we'll be supported. Like we're not going to
Yes.
fall, we're not going to roll off the top of the lighthouse.
Yes.
I like that example, Manny. That was good.
Yeah.
They're like the base and then we're the light.
Yep. Yep. Because when I think about masculine and feminine energy and the way like men love women, they get in, so my personal opinion is that women lead in the energetic realm or the spiritual realm and men lead in the physical realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when a man is inspired by a woman, he will become the best version of himself to
Yep.
attain that woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
um and like I personally love being around masculine men because they're so different to me. And I'm like, you guys are so simple that you don't make sense to me, right? Like they're very black and white, and we are very much not that. And I'm like, none of you make sense to me. And so I need more. I want to understand better. And I don't know if it's because I grew up with a ton of uncles and a ton of boy cousins, but there is no better feeling than being surrounded by a bunch of masculine men.
Yeah.
And I think that I have never felt that. And so now to have somebody that you can trust and to not get hurt by that.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I think that plays a big part.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Totally. Tosh, do you want to share anything about how your hubby shows up as a provider and protector?
Definitely. I just think, as a Taurus, money and finances create a lot of stress and pressure. Um, we've had like a role reversal in the past 8, 9 months ish, where he was able to shift back into the workforce and really increase his income, which took that pressure off of me. But until I told him that that was too much, he was just kind of floating around,
Right.
just doing what he thought I wanted him to do, which he was home a little bit more and closer to home, and then available to be around for our youngest more, which is what we needed then. But we've had this ebb and flow of um, I get to step into my role, like career wise, and do what I need to do. And then
Yeah.
I've been able to get that up to where I want it to be. And while he kind of stepped back so I could. And
Yeah.
then now he's in this position where he can take that opportunity to kind of rebuild his again. But
Mm,
outside, like, so for the financial stuff, for me, that's a lot of my safety and security lies in that
right.
of, having what we need to pay the bills and to get the things that we want and need. And so that's definitely a way that I'm getting like that safety and security piece. And then just the fact that I don't have to worry about, I've never questioned his loyalty to me,
Yeah.
um, ever. And we've been together for 20 years. Um,
Wow.
yeah. He told me that day. He was like, I've known you since I was 25. And I was like, well, how fucking old are you now? And he was like, I'm 45. I was like, you've been together for 20 years? That's crazy. Sounds like a long time. And he's like, yeah, I know. It is a long time. But to be able to say like 20 years that we've been together does not
Yeah,
feel like 20 years at all. And just
that's so cool.
I tell Chad all the time, I'm like, we're lucky. Like we have a very good life. And since we've been together, like all of the things that like caused us harm are things that happened before we met, to be honest.
Wow.
Like there's been nothing that I feel like has been super traumatic, super terrible. They've been like, there's obviously been like losses and things like that. But when you have someone that's helpful, understanding, nurturing, and helps pick up the slack,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's this really long, difficult experience of
Right, right.
life.
Well, when I hear people talk about like longevity of relationships, you hear men a lot of times be like, "Do you really want to be with the same woman for your whole life?" And it's like, bro, you don't understand feminine energy at all because she
Yeah.
is a different woman every day and she will become so many different women throughout her life. Like it will be the most epic magical experience if you know how to protect and provide for her in a way that helps her shine.
Mm-hmm. When I
Mm,
think of that balance piece too, because like my husband will go out and like if right because right now he's in this phase of like work, 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 make money, make money,
right,
make money. And
right.
before that, it was like he was there to help take care of Briggs. So it was more like whatever he's flexible and he's willing to
Yep.
shift and move as needed. It's not, oh, well, that's, he's sick. Or like, Briggs isn't feeling well. So you need to take off work because you're the woman. It
Right.
was, oh, well, you have clients. You make more money than I do right now. So I'm going to take work off. It was
Yep.
never that feeling of like, that's what my role would have been. And
Yes.
yesterday I was supposed to do dishes and I came downstairs to do the dishes and he was already doing the dishes. So
No.
it's that piece, right? Like that provides protection because it's like this person is
Yes.
here to help take, because if helping to take care of me and our kids is modeling that this is what dads do,
Yep.
Hmm.
let's do that.
Yes.
No, because
Well,
protection doesn't
also,
have to just be that physical end of things.
oh, totally.
It's what are you teaching or what are you sharing with someone else what you will or won't do? Because I and my husband's famous saying is like, I'll never tell you no. And then I
Aw.
remind him he told me no 2 times because I wanted a fucking
Of
mini
course, you
pig.
remind him.
Yeah, I wanted a mini pig 2 different times, and he told me no both times. So those are literally the only 2 times that I think he's ever told me no. So
That's
all I
hilarious.
wanted was a mini pig. That's it.
That's so funny. Well,
But
yeah, you guys
Natasha,
have,
what if it turns into a big pig? Well, then
it
I don't
will.
know. Then
Yeah.
we'll eat it.
We'll deal with that
Yeah,
later.
then we'll eat it. We'll eat Wilbur.
I mean, you guys have always like moved in like in yourselves. You both have
Mm-hmm.
a really good ability to move into your masculine energy and feminine energy, right? Like you guys flow between the two like really
Yeah.
beautifully, right? Like it
Yep.
obviously that's why your relationship has been, I mean, you guys have grown something really special, right? Like 20 years is nothing to turn your nose at. That's wild,
For
right? Two
sure.
kids, a house, a 20-year
Mhm.
marriage, a couple
Well,
of
and then
pets.
just and just to be able to feel like it's not been that long, because there's some people are just like, oh my god, I can't believe I stayed that long, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, it's already been 20 years. Like, uh that's crazy because it doesn't feel like that because it's not been, never not trusted him, never not um felt safe or secure, and there's so much value that comes with that for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's so powerful.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's what I'm hoping my kids will be like too, right? Like
right.
that modeling piece of you can be strong and be masculine, but you don't have to be a dickhead.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, did you guys watch that documentary? I can't remember what it was called, but it was about like toxic masculinity. Wow, toxic masculinity.
It
The
just came onto
manosphere one,
Netflix. I
the
have not. I've
manosphere
seen
one.
it.
I started it and I was just like, I can't watch any more of this. But like just the way that men in media like put on a front of
Mm.
like what masculinity is supposed to look like, and then in the documentary it's not even how they actually act in relationships, right? Like it's all just an act for the
Hmm.
camera. um that
But it's breeding this idea.
oh yep,
So are you
yeah.
saying like in the media they're like very derogatory, over the top, and then in private they're like very gentle with their partners, or
One dude in particular, he was being interviewed and his girlfriend interrupted the interview and she didn't even know that it was happening. Like she did not consent to be recorded for filming, but he said something and then he like backtracked when she was there. Like this isn't actually, how I
mm,
act or behave or whatever. um
but what he's doing is telling people that are watching like this isn't
exactly.
appropriate behavior, instead of being like, no, I
Instead
can
of being
actually like be
honest.
gentle. Yes, I can be kind and I can share emotions with my partner. It's that
Mhm.
facade of detachment and disconnection that they are promoting, it sounds like.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was the point of the whole documentary. It was like these fools are just that.
Was
They're
it Andrew
fools.
Tate?
Well, yes, it was like I don't remember, so since I didn't watch the whole thing, I probably shouldn't even talk about it, but like uh there's this one dude, his name's Myron. I can't remember his full name, but I've seen him in other things, and it's like they make a living attacking other people
Mm,
and like talking. I mean, they make a living talking shit about the way people live their lives, about like men getting clowned by women. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
because their whole drive is like, have all this money, fuck all these bitches, right? Like,
yeah,
we know that that's pushed in like music
right.
and mainstream pop culture. And it's like, it's so against like our nature that it's hilarious to me. But like when I think about people in those situations, like that's not fucking funny at all. That's fucking brutal.
Right.
And
Well,
how do
and there,
we,
because there are then people that do think that's what you should do and are demeaning to women and
right,
demoralizing and disrespectful. And it's just like, that's why we kind of have that culture that we do now too, of just violence and crime. And
right.
I mean, it's crazy.
Scarcity,
Yeah.
everyone moving from scarcity and survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I mean, it's back to our original programming.
right.
If you're told, let's treat women like shit and make them into our sexual dolls, essentially, we're just,
Literally.
but when we're saying that on TV and in society and on Facebook, girls are having major identity crisis. Like
Mm-hmm.
the young women, the probably 18 to 22-ish, they
Yeah.
don't any sign of affection, and they get,
Attention.
yes, any attention, and they are lacking something, and so immediately, whether it's positive or negative attention, it's still attention. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so we have to rewire
Right.
it's going to be, it's not going to be overnight.
Well,
No.
yeah, I mean,
No.
this damage has taken generations to accumulate, so it's going to
Yeah.
take some work for us to clear it. But,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that everything is healable. And I really think that it all goes back to men rejecting their own inner feminine essence, right? They reject their emotional body. Well, that's a huge part of your inner feminine, right? Like we all have both. We all have masculine and feminine. Um, and if they're taught to reject that, they lose connection to their intuition, they lose their connection to a higher power.
Mhm.
And they're operating from their wounding, right? Like if you grew up in scarcity, you are more likely to need multiple sexual partners to try to fill a hole in you, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, I'm like heated.
Yeah, this is a big topic.
It is a
That
big
might be one that
topic.
we add into our thing, is just like pornography and the cycle of
Yeah.
that within society and how it
Mhm.
impacts young men and young women, and how we are just perpetuating that and can constantly feed that, because that's something that we've had conversations about before. So maybe we should
Yeah. Yeah, write it down.
add that one or something
Yeah.
else.
Wow.
Add it to the
We
job.
really we got everywhere on this one, didn't we?
Don't we always?
Yeah, literally. Well, that's the beauty of women's minds, right? Like we are built to multitask. And so we can hold multiple concepts at one time in a different way than men can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I could talk forever about the difference between masculine and feminine energies. That's so interesting to me. Um, do we have any final thoughts on protection and provision from women versus men, or just protection and provision in general? Like how do we do that for ourselves? Because we all got to start with ourselves, right? That's the whole point of this podcast, is to empower people
Mm-hmm.
to be self-healers. How do we how do we protect and provide for ourselves? Maybe that's a good way to end.
I think just that setting boundaries.
Mm,
We allow people to do to us what we allow them to do to us.
yep.
And the circles that we keep contribute to who we are. So if we're going to sit
Right.
in a room of people that are chronic complainers, whiners, or when you think of people that are just like um, that negative thought process, like attracts like. So
Yep.
what do you want? Is that who you want to be around? Is that who you want to become? And if not, what are you going to do about it? So I think being clear on
Yes.
who you are as a person and what your personal goals are, either career, financially, relationship, whatever, when you're clear on your goals, then you know what direction you need to go in order to meet the people that will help you continue to climb and elevate as well. So I think getting clear on yourself first and then setting boundaries and
Yep.
following through with them is a way that we can protect ourselves and then provide provision as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
And
And
don't you
remember,
think? Oh,
No,
sorry.
go.
And don't you think that, protecting yourself, it comes back to being authentic to yourself,
Absolutely.
and figuring that out, and then don't cheat on yourself,
Hmm.
um,
Ooh, say that again.
right? But being authentic, the only way we're going to get authentic and stay there is by, like what Natasha said, boundaries. How am I going to allow people to treat me?
Yep.
It's very important because you wouldn't want your kids to talk crappy to somebody else, but yet
Right.
we talk crappy to ourselves.
Hmm.
Right.
That needs to be erased.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's how I've healed the most is by turning my energy inward. Like growing up in a chaotic environment where my needs were not met and I'm constantly looking to an outside source to meet my needs and then getting to a point where it's time to meet your own needs and I had no preparation whatsoever. You kind of
Hmm.
just white knuckle it, right? Like you grit your teeth and you bear it and you figure out how to do it. Like the practice might not be pretty, but it's a practice and you get 1% better every day or
Hmm.
0.001% better. It doesn't matter. Just set your
Forward movement.
intention. Exactly. Set your intention to heal. And uh if you can cultivate a relationship with God, source, the universe, whatever word you want to put there, that's gonna put you ahead of a lot of the people on the planet, right? Because so many of us are so disconnected from that energy.
Hmm.
We've been brainwashed to not think it's real, or we've rejected it out of the confines of a religion because it's too controlling and it keeps us from being our authentic self. Mm. Of course, I always got to bring it back to the spirituality.
Well, I mean, obviously, if we're living out of a place of love or God or source, then we can be authentic. So
Hmm.
it's part
Totally.
of all of it.
Yep. Yep. Cute. I think that's a
That's
great
the
place to end
magic.
it. What do y'all think?
Love it.
That was
Okay.
amazing.
Hey, thanks for joining us on episode 2 of Honey, Let's Heal. We're out here, we're doing it. Thanks to Kara for joining the team today.
Yes.
Yay, I'm so excited. Thanks for
Okay,
the surprise.
See, it was a
you're
good one. Just
welcome.
just do it. Just jump on in.
Full
Permission will
Just
send.
do it.
not be asked. We will not ask permission.
Love it.
Okay, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.